Why, hello there, beautiful people of the internet. It is me, Dan, your host, Book Nook Noggin, with another graphic novel review, and this time I'm here to review Spider-Man Life Story, written by the wonderful Chip Zdarsky. I've been a fan of Chip Zdarsky's writing for quite a while now. I don't recall where I first saw his writing, but I know he's one of those guys like Dan Slott who writes amazing Spider-Man stories. And when I saw this, I was like, I gotta check this one out just to figure out what it's all about. This is a really interesting concept. It goes all the way back to 1962's Amazing Fantasy number 15, and it's like a tribute to celebrate Marvel's 80th anniversary. And I love the way they did this because over the years, Marvel has just felt the need to, I guess they call it retconning, when you revitalize the character or the book to make it seem more contemporary. And this is what Spider-Man's life would have been like with all of the major storylines that Marvel had done, but they didn't retcon, or they didn't reintroduce Spider-Man. If he had still been at the same age he was from all the way back from Amazing Fantasy, so by the time you get to the end of this book, Spider-Man is an old man. He is like in his 70s. This is a really, really interesting concept. And I love the fact that Chip Zdarsky decided to take some chances here and kind of change the storyline. So it's not the exact same storyline that you know. In this one, he has kids. Not only did he marry MJ, but he's got twins. And I love the way they introduced the Miles Morales Spider-Man, kind of like him taking over the mantle for Peter Parker. And I love the way that he handled the whole clone saga thing. And the Venom thing was interesting, too. I know that there were mixed reviews on this. I know some people thought it was just okay. I don't think there were too many people on my friends list that didn't like this, but a lot of people loved it or they thought it was really great. I'm right up there with the people who thought this was great. By the time I was finished with this, I was kind of hesitant. I wasn't really sure. And they also brought back Superior Spider-Man in their own kind of way, which I thought was so fucking cool because I loved Superior Spider-Man. But yeah, and then they brought up the whole topic of what would Cap have done with Vietnam and all that stuff, and the Civil War and how Tony Stark should have been dealt with, and really interesting take. Really, really interesting take. I would totally read this if they wanted to fill in the gaps, because we already know the story. We know how some of the story it turned out, but it goes by the decades. And it starts to tell the story, and you know, because you know how Spider-Man is, you know how it's going to turn out. But it would have been cool to see those gaps filled out. If they could have did an on-running series of this, I would have loved to have read that. And I'm kind of crossing my fingers and hoping that they will do that. That maybe you can show us how Peter Parker's twins, how the one twin became her own spider heroine. That would have been cool to see, and to see how they dealt with that vampire spider totem story. I can't remember the guy's name at the top of my head right now. But yeah, I absolutely liked this. I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4 out of 5 star rating. I wanted to share this with you guys because it's not your norm. It's not your typical book out there. And I'm calling it a graphic novel review because it isn't a series. It was a one-shot thing that they did. It collects Spider-Man Life Stories numbers 1 through 6. Mark Bagley also worked on this, and a few other people who I'm not familiar with. But really, really, if you are a Spider-Man fan and you want to see what Spider-Man's life could have been like if they didn't keep retconning him, this is where it's at. I mean, I really thought this was a fun read. For those of you in the U.S., I will have a link to Amazon down below. For those of you guys outside the U.S., I will have a bookshop.org link. If you got something out of this video, please please consider donating to my coffee. Buy me a coffee or two. I will have that link down below as well. And if you came here looking for comic book, graphic novel reviews and recommendations, please hit that subscriber button. While you're there, hit that notification bell so you're well aware of when I upload. I know that a majority of y'all that are watching my videos are not actual subscribers. You're coming here because you're searching for books and you're finding my review videos. So why don't you do us all a favor and just hit that subscriber button so that way you don't miss anything. You don't have to keep coming back through the Google search terms. Kill two birds with one stone, my friend. This has been Dan. You have been you. 2021 is going great so far. We got a new president. I'm happy about that. Yeah, definitely. That's all I got for you guys. This has been Dan. Stay healthy and be good to each other.